Hello friends, I'm Blake.
And I'm Hannah.
And today we're going to be talking about the top 10 things that you guys can request for your stateroom on a cruise.
Things that you might not know that you even can request.
Yeah, so stay tuned, check us out, make sure you hit that follow, like, share, comment, whatever it is. Subscribe. Yes, we're trying to get there. Yeah, stay tuned. Okay, so number one is a corkscrew. So when I first started cruising in 2017, 2018 on the Carnival Cruise Lines, when we went, we were able to bring our own bottle of wine. But when we brought a bottle of wine, we didn't know that we needed a corkscrew. So we tipped our room steward a hefty fine, and he brought us a corkscrew, which was we were very thankful for it. But we didn't know at dinner you had to pay for them to uncork your wine. So you can ask your room steward for a corkscrew. We always suggest to tip your room stewards extra.
Do you have to actually pay for the corkscrew though?
No, you don't.
You can just request it.
Yeah, you can request it, but I'm pretty sure we returned it. But you throw your room steward an extra couple dollars, and they'll bring you a corkscrew to uncork your bottle of wine or whatever. But yeah, it's just nice to have, because obviously sometimes you can't pack a corkscrew for your luggage. So yeah, just make sure you if you don't pack one, if you do pack one, pack it in your checked bag underneath the airplane. But if you don't pack one, make sure you tip your room steward a little bit extra to give you a corkscrew.
And if you're gonna have a corkscrew, you might need.
We're gonna do the next one. Like I said, no particular order, but a wine glass or wine glasses. We've cruised on MSC for the last couple of times now, and they've brought us wine glasses with our champagne. But if you're celebrating a special occasion, or you're doing whatever, making your own drinks or bringing drinks back to your stateroom to celebrate anything, ask for some wine glasses. They'll leave it in your stateroom, and yeah.
And be careful.
Yeah, be careful. Don't shatter them anywhere. Like I said, just tip your room steward a little bit extra, and they'll literally bring you anything that you possibly want. But we'll talk about the next one here in just a second. Number 3.
This is an important one. So most cruises, every day your room steward's gonna leave you a towel or 2 towels to go to the pool, beach, etc. It's really important that you don't lose that towel, or you turn it in for a new one. Don't lose track of that towel, because a lot of the cruise lines will also charge you if you lose your towel. But you can also request more pool towels. So we do that especially if we're getting off the ship to go maybe to a beach, or if it's a private island and there's going to be a beach. We will request extra towels just to make sure that we have 2 for our beach outing, and then maybe we have 2 waiting back in the room if we want to get back from the beach and then go to the pool or the jacuzzi or whatever. You can request more pool towels, but just make sure that you keep track of where you're putting your pool towels.
Yeah, because it's pretty easy to, if you go to the pool at, let's say, 11 o'clock in the morning, and then you get off for an excursion, or you want another towel, it's easy to use those towels up pretty quickly. So
yeah, and as soon as one gets wet, and if you stuff it in a bag or something, it's probably still gonna be wet when you get it out. So you can always request more pool towels. Just make sure you're keeping track of where you're putting them.
Yep.
Because you don't want to find. The next item is my personal favorite, and I feel like I can't go on vacation without them, but bathrobes. And depending on your cruise line and your room might come with bathrobes, but you can also request them. Or if you think your room is supposed to come with bathrobes and you can't find them, like I did last time, you can request them, and they actually were just hidden in a compartment that I didn't know. I thought it was a towel, and it turned out it was the bathrobe. They don't look like this. They're usually white and fluffy, but a vacation is not a vacation without a bathrobe. So yeah, you can ask your room steward for a robe.
And with MSC, I know with our status, we get slippers.
Slippers too.
So yeah, it's Hannah's
nice touch.
Peak moment in our cruises. But yeah, so yeah, make sure you request those and get your extra towels, but make sure you turn them in because I'm pretty sure it's a hefty charge, like
Depending on the cruise line, you will be charged for
it's like
lost
$40
towels.
a towel, right?
Yeah.
So make sure you turn those in when it's needed.
Yeah.
All right, the next little shindig that you should ask if you need them, your room steward, is extra hangers.
Although I wish they looked like that, because you know that cruise hangers are like so thick and hefty.
Yeah, they're definitely bulky. If you're like Hannah, you bring 18 million outfits on your cruise, and that leaves me with literally like 2. So if you need extra hangers, just simply ask. Normally they'll come around when you first get to your room, ask if you need anything, how's everything. They'll get to know you a little bit more. Just ask for some extra hangers if you need them, and that's
Hand them your list of
Hand them
things
your
that
list.
we've given you.
Yeah. But make sure you tip, because that's the most important thing. What
The other thing you can ask for is extra pillows. If you're like me, you only need one. I pretty much give all of the pillows to Blake except for one. But if you are a couple who both needs lots of pillows, you can ask for more pillows.
Yeah, because you're a pillow princess.
I don't need that. You're a pillow princess. I only need one pillow.
Well,
You
I
need
like-
one for each limb
That's true.
to rest on.
That's very true. All right, on to the next.
On to the next. Okay, I'm not a pillow princess, but I am a blanket princess. So you can also request an extra blanket. Although I don't really get cold on cruises, because I feel like they can always be a little bit cooler. But if you are like a reptile and you need an extra blanket on a tropical cruise, or maybe an Alaskan cruise, whatever, you can request more blankets, fleece blanket in particular.
Yeah, and my next one would be, sometimes you can ask for an extension cord, but we obviously recommend bringing your own, especially if you have to charge multiple phones or a GoPro or a camera or whatever you may have.
You
I think
never
we
know
have-
how many plugs outlets you might have on a cruise.
I'm pretty sure we have this linked in.
Yeah, it is linked on
Yeah,
our
it's
Amazon.
linked in our little Amazon page. This has got 3 USB outlets, 3 actual plug-ins. This works just great for us. Also, I did a little bit of research. If you have a CPAP machine, if you need any like assistance when you go to bed, you can actually request distilled water for your CPAP machine. You do that prior to obviously boarding. I would suggest doing it as early as possible, but they will actually bring you distilled water or whatever you need for your equipment to help you out at night. Fans were another thing that I had saw online.
We've never requested a fan, but
No, I don't know if you can actually request a fan. Maybe some cruise lines you can, but if you get really hot at night like I do, you can find plenty of USB powered fans online or plug-in, whatever, but normally it's pretty good. We crank down the AC at night and make it super chilly. But yeah, so check it out.
okay, so another kind of different thing about cruises, when you come in, it may look like you have a king size bed, or it may look like you have 2 twin size beds, but no matter what, they're 2 twin size beds, and they're either pushed together or they're separated. So when you get in there and if it's not how you thought it was going to be, like maybe you were expecting a king and you have 2 separate twin beds, you can ask them to push them together. Or if you walk in and it looks like a king size bed and you thought you were getting 2 separate beds, maybe you're staying with a friend or something, you can ask them to separate those 2 beds. But no matter what, it's 2 twin size beds, and they're either together or separate. So
yeah, and if you have
the
kids,
option.
if you have kids, they have bunk beds that can either like pull down from the wall or pull down from the ceiling. So if you're traveling with like 4 in a room, I know we've seen them that they can like pull down from the ceiling and make a bunk bed. So
Or you might have a couch that has like a pull out underneath it. Or
Yeah.
I think you can also, in some cases, request like a cot or something.
yeah.
So
just-
lots of bed options.
Yeah, but make sure before you go on your cruise, make sure you figure that out before you go, and make sure your room is equipped with those.
the extra things you might need.
Yeah. The next thing is your balcony doors. So if for some reason you are traveling with another group, or you make best friends at the karaoke bar after like 19 drinks at night, and you realize that they're staying next to you, you can actually open up your balcony doors to make one long patio. A lot of people know about this, but sometimes if you're first-time cruisers or have only cruised a couple times, you can actually request your room steward to open up your balcony door to make it one big patio, which would be kind of neat.
I did not know that. That is cool.
Yeah.
We need to make friends with our neighbors next time.
Yeah. Well, normally our neighbors are in bed by like 8 p.m., but we'll maybe the next cruise coming up in like a couple weeks. So we'll try it out.
Okay, so this next one, so growing up, I did not cruise. But I have seen other people going on cruises, always posting pictures of the towel animals. So when Blake finally made me go on my first cruise, that was like the one thing I was so excited about. I wanted towel animals, and I didn't realize that it doesn't necessarily come every single time you go on a cruise. So I think one of the nights we wrote down on our little piece of paper,
Can we please
"Can we
have an
have
towel
towel
animal?
I was so excited about them. I think I even still have a couple of the eyes they put on stuck on my suitcase because
we came back and there was it was like a giraffe or something.
I think it was something cute.
Yeah.
But the next cruise we go on in a couple of weeks, we're getting towel animals.
So Carnival is definitely known for their towel animals. They do the elephants, the monkeys hanging from the ceiling and everything. But MSC, they're not. I know I've seen a couple different stories about towel animals, but it just depends on what cruise line you're going on. Disney, Carnival, I think Norwegian maybe did a couple.
It's probably the cruise lines that are more kid friendly, and you know what? Yeah. But I appreciate a towel animal. I know it's probably more work for the room stewards, which is another reason that you should tip your room stewards. But
yeah, for sure,
it's a nice touch, and just like the bathrobes, I love a towel animal.
Yeah. The next thing is a sharps container. So if you're diabetic or you need any type of sharps container for your medicine, you just request. I think a lot of the staterooms now, I know on our last cruise, they actually had a sharps container in the bathroom just underneath the drawer there. So if your cruise stateroom doesn't have a sharps container, just request it from your room steward. Just tell them the situation or her the situation, and they'll hook you up. And the last one is a mattress topper,
which you need to request early because I didn't even realize that you could request this until one of our last cruises, but it's also something very popular that people request because from what I found, cruise beds are a little hard. They're not the most comfortable things, but you can request a mattress topper, but they go quick. So if it's something that you think you want, make sure you ask on the first day, but your room steward can easily get you a mattress topper. So that's one that I almost always, since I realized that you could do it, I request.
Yep, that she does. All right, so that's going to wrap up our most requested / things that we didn't know until we did a little bit of research. But we are definitely not cruise professionals. We've been on 5 or 6 cruises, going to try to do a lot more, but
but the one thing that I have realized just from the few cruises that we've done is that you do actually get really close with your room steward. You see your room steward every single day. If you do have any problems or need help with something, questions, they are so more than willing to help. Yes. So be nice to your room steward, tip your room steward, and get to know your room steward. I mean, just having a conversation with them every day makes it easier when you do actually have to ask for something or request something.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. You know, these room stewards are on the ship for 6, 7, 8 months at a time. They're providing money for back home, so they rely on your support. They rely on whatever you bring them. If you haven't seen our videos about what we do for room stewards when we go to the dollar store and spend, I don't know, $15-20 on the little baskets that we give them, they appreciate that much more than just leaving a monetary tip, which whether you do both is great. We do both. But
we just fill a basket with toothpaste, coloring books, pencils, laundry detergent, laundry pods, just things that they may or may not be able to get while they're on the ship for an extended period of time. So it's just a nice little touch, and we usually give it to them the first day, and that also kind of helps break the ice to get to know them a little better.
So if you haven't seen that video, check it out. If you haven't already, subscribe, comment, and share with all of your friends. We are trying to travel full time.
And we're going on a cruise soon, so stay tuned for our next travel adventure.
That's right. We appreciate you tuning in. I'm Blake.
I'm Hannah.
And thanks for tuning in.